morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today it's time to take a look at the top 10 most expensive cards from Journey Togethe. I told you how the prices for Journey Togethe are, to put it bluntly, crashing pretty gosh darn hard. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about which ones are the most expensive, and I got to be honest with you. What? Like, what's going on here? This is weird. Like, we've got a certain expectation, having seen the prices over in Japan. We got a certain expectation as to what the top card should be. And, yeah, not to sound like an internet meme, but number 2 will surprise you. So starting in at number 10, we've got the gold version of I&O's Bellibolt, which honestly does actually make a little bit of sense. And what we got here is, this one's coming in at about $30, and it's, well, not to sound reductive, gold I&O's Bellibolt. That's what we've got. It is I&O's Bellibolt, but, wait for it, in gold. And this one does actually make a little bit of sense here. This might be about where we should be. No, it's too low. This is too low. It should be above. This should actually be, if we go by the Japanese prices, this should actually be like the number 5 card in the set. Why it's down at number 10, I don't really know. It is a great card. It's got I&O, who everybody loves. The Bellibolt is borderline playable. It's obviously a gold card of a very low pull rate. You can accelerate as much lightning energy as you like. It's a very cool card. But, like I say, this should be a top 5 card. Seeing this come in at number 10 is a little bit weird. Coming in at number 9, a card that I absolutely adore. It's the Illustration Rare Wailord. Not the best illustration rare in the set. There's a Swinub. But oh my word, is this a ridiculously cool illustration rare. This is one that I am particularly fond of. And as it stands at the moment, it's actually the number 2 illustration rare in the set. Which incidentally makes no sense. Lily's Rabombi, not on this list. En's Reshiram, not on this list. Wailord, it's coming in at like $35. Oh, yeah. Oh, Wailord comes in on this list. Why? That's weird, ladies and gentlemen. That's weird. And look, I love Wailord as a Pokemon. I think Wailord's amazing. And I think the art here is absolutely stunning. I think this looks brilliant. And there is a deck to be made here with Baxcalibur accelerating a whole bunch of energy and just going nuts. And I've seen it topping a little bit over in Japan. But make no mistake about it, this is too high. This is way, way too high for Wailord. Hopefully it comes down, because I have a Japanese Wailord, I don't yet have an English, and I would like one. In at number 8, we've got Gold and Zoroark, and I will say this coming in, by the way, at like $37. I'm trying to do the nearest $5, but this one actually comes in halfway between $35 Wailord and $40 the next card, so I'm having to call it 37. I'm sorry. And this is the best gold card in the set, the most sought after gold card in the set, which actually should be below I&O's Bellibolt if you go by Japanese prices. But either way, we got a gold card, so the pull rates are rather low. We've got an N card, and everybody loves N. We've got Zoroark, who's extremely cool, and it's a card of a great ability to draw cards and an attack that can copy the attacks of your benched N's Pokemon's attacks. I like this. I think this is a cool card, and that's why it comes in at number 8. In at number 7, we've got ourselves Volcanion EX, the special illustration rare thereof. And this is a little bit weird again, honestly. This should be below the gold cards I've already shown you. This is cool. And don't get me wrong, right? It's an illustration rare, and the artwork's lovely and all of that. But it's Volcanion. This is not a big special illustration rare. This is your ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill special illustration rare. You open it in a pack, and you're like, oh, cool, I got a special illustration rare. Oh, but it's not one of the big ones, is it? Like, that's the correct response to opening this from a pack. I do like that if it's active, you can burn your opponent's active Pokemon. That's cool. This is a $40 card, and I'll be honest with you, this again seems a bit too high. In at number 6, we've got Articuno, the illustration rare, the highest illustration rare in the set. Which, come on. Now, this should actually be number 3. This should be number 3 behind En's Reshiram, obviously, and Lily's Rabombi, obviously. The fact that those two didn't make the list, and this is the highest, and the second highest isn't one of the two I just named, bizarre, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely bizarre. Right now, this is apparently like a $42 card, and I don't get this Articuno. I know it's higher than your average, we can see that from Japan, but things like Lily's Rabombi and En's Reshiram, we can look at them and go, okay, yeah, you know what? We've got a Lily card with phenomenal artwork, or we got an Ends card of a legendary Pokemon. I get it. This, yeah, it's a Gen 1 legendary bird, but that's not enough, I don't think. The art's lovely, but I don't think that's enough. And frankly, in a pre-release, it's fun, but it's terrible in standard. This is another card that just doesn't make a huge amount of sense. The good news is the rest of the top 5 does make sense if you ignore number 2. Seriously, number 2 will surprise you. In at number 5, we've got the special illustration rare of Hop Zacian, which is currently coming in at about $85. And this one is, it's the lowest of the trainer special illustration rares. It's still a special illustration rare. It's still got Zacian. Interstrike doing 30 to the active, 30 to the bench on a basic Pokemon for a single colorless energy. Still a phenomenal attack. Again, if we look at Japan, this should be below the Gold Iono's Bellabolt. Although, to be fair, that's the only thing it should be behind other than the 4 cards it is behind. And this is a very cool special illustration rare. It's just the worst of the trainers ones. Now, in at number 4, we've got the card that I pulled from my box. We've got Iono's Bellabolt coming in at pretty much dead on $100. This is about a $100 card right now. And I adore this card. Now, this should be the number 2 card in the set, let's be clear. I don't know why it's number 4. We look at Japan, it's number 2. And when I say it's number 2, I mean number 2 by a mile. I mean double the number 3 card. This shouldn't be number 4. This should be number 2, and a very clear and easy number 2. I don't know why it's number 4 right now. I told you this list is a bit weird. But we got Iono, who's a very popular trainer. We got Bellabolt, what a unit. We got a playable card, as I mentioned earlier, although it is a fringe playable card rather than a stunning playable card, and I love this. And now I'm partly being a little bit biased here, because when I went to EUIC, although I got the full set of 4 signed posters, this was the only poster, this Bellabolt by Unishida. It's the only one I actually got signed in person. Maybe I'm biased for that reason. I love this card. It's too low. In at number 3, properly positioned, although the cards either side of it are wrong, we've got N Zoroark, currently coming in at about $140. That's way too high, incidentally. Way too high. $140 is absurd. This is another card which, you know, I've told you the prices are crashing. Hold off on this one, it's going to keep crashing. Look, we all love N, we all love Zoroark, and as I explained earlier, this is a playable card. It's a very cool card. But this being number 3 at $140, I'm not buying it. Literally or figuratively, I think it's very cool. I like it very much. But $140 is weird. You know what else is weird? Salamence in at number 2, also at $140. Yeah, I don't get this. And to be clear, I saw this on TCG Player and I'm like, nah, mate, TCG Player's on one, that's weird. So I went to eBay, where actually $140 is less than they're being listed for. Honestly, on eBay, the average is $150. In fact, I'm putting $150 at the top. I'm not putting $140, I'm putting $150. There are actually a few sales on eBay at $135, $140, but I'm flicking down through a couple dozen sales here, and actually $150 is a more appropriate price. I'm changing my mind. I don't get this. And don't get me wrong, right? Salamence is cool as a Pokemon. Playability-wise, no, it's pretty terrible playability-wise. But the artwork's lovely, and Salamence is a pseudo-legendary, and everybody loves Salamence. If this was a number 4 card in the set, like it was over in Japan, and it was like a $30 card, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I get that, fine. But $150 as a second biggest card in this? No! No! There's no way this should be higher than N Zoroark or Lily's Bellabolt. Both of those cards feature trainers. Both of those cards are more playable. Both of those cards are significantly more sought after in Japan. Like, Iono's Bellavolt is 4 times the price of Salamence over in Japan. Why is Salamence number 2? Don't know, makes no sense. The good news is, in a number 1, we've got Lily's Clefairy, coming in at about $250, and this one finally makes a bit of sense. I still think $250 is too high. I don't think that is going to be where we end up here, but I will say that actually, overall, yeah, fine, I get it. I'm cool with this. This is the big card in the set. It should be the big card in the set. This should be the card that everybody is desperate to open, and the good news is, it actually is. There's a little bit of continuity going on here. I'll be honest with you, this list as a whole is bizarre to me. Salamence is the second highest card in the set. Articuno was the biggest artwork rare. Partly it's a fact that makes no sense given what we've already seen in Japan for the same cards, and partly it's just nonsensical. You know, seeing Salamence above Iono's Bellavolt, seeing Articuno above En's Reshiram, like these things don't make any sense. And to be fair, I do think over time these are going to get corrected. Right now, I've checked TCG Player, I've checked eBay, I've checked some other places. I'm confident that this top 10 list is correct. It's just a bit weird, and I don't know what we're all doing right now with Journey Togethe. But whatever it is, I have told you, so let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And of course, get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Andrew Kincaid, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now, is a very lovely chap, can often be seen over at events teaching people to play in PlayLab, and just generally being a wonderful person. So shout out to Andrew for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.